Welcome to Kabiga's Reviews. Today we're looking at WandaVision Episode 5 on a very special episode, directed by Matt Shakman and starring Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, Catherine Hahn, Tiona Paris, Randall Park, Kat Dennings, Julian Hilliard, and Jet Klein, among others. Wanda is losing her grip over everything and is completely unable to control the twins. Luckily, Agnes is on hand to help with exactly what they need. But after a disturbing conversation with Norm, Vision is waking up to a horrifying reality, one he has yet to fully comprehend. Meanwhile, S.W.O.R.D continues its efforts to discover the truth of the Maximoff anomaly, angering Wanda in the process. So after the fantastic exposition of the last episode, this one certainly hits the ground running and once again ups the ante brilliantly. There's so much going on in this episode. I really don't want to give spoilers away, but there's so much that I could say. We're well and truly out of the simple sitcoms with much more of what's going on outside being shown now, which is really interesting because a lot of the negative stuff that I've heard about WandaVision has been in relation to the fact that it is sitcoms. People just don't seem to get that, but if you persevere, as I've said before, with the first few episodes, it certainly grows as it's going on, and this episode shows it fantastically. Monica's debrief right at the beginning with S.W.O.R.D is quite telling as well, and could quite possibly explain everything. She mentions the word grief, which could well explain what's happening with Wanda. I do feel that this whole series could possibly be exploring what's going on emotionally with Wanda, and it could be exploring a lot more of what you think. I've said from episode 1 that there's more going on here than what we realise, and it shows every time in every episode, just shows that if you look deeper, it's certainly exploring much larger, shall we say, aspects of life. Okay? Director Hayward makes a potentially huge mistake by hijacking an attempt by Monica to communicate with Wanda. I don't want to, once again, don't want to spoil it for you, but there's certain echoes of what he does that could be triggers for Wanda, and if I'm right about this exploring her psychological state and this is her processing her grief, then these triggers could well be catastrophic if he's not careful, and he needs to just watch it, that guy. It's also very nice to hear Wanda's Sokovian accent return. She's certainly regressed. That's a very good word, actually. She's very much regressed following the events of Avengers Endgame. This is set not long after the blip, Tony's snap that brought Wanda back. So Wanda's still trying to process. For her, for the world, should I say, 5 years have passed. But for Wanda, it's been mere minutes since Vision was taken from her twice. So she's really struggling with that. And I think I could be wrong. I mean, I suppose watching more episodes will explain it more. But I think that this experience in Westview could well be Wanda's way of processing her grief. I mean, it's mentioned twice in this episode, that word, so keep an eye out for that. I mean, the future episodes, I suppose, will pan it all out. There's much more self-awareness in this episode as well, which even Vision notices, causing him to openly challenge Wanda towards the end, having had an eye-opening conversation with Norm, which again goes back to the earlier episodes where everything turns, as I said, a little bit Children of the Corn, a little bit strange, and they have this moment of clarity. Something is definitely going on underneath. Now, the boys are real spanners in the works. Okay, last episode Wanda gave birth to twins, and this time the twins are there, full on, and Wanda is struggling to cope with motherhood, parenthood, struggling to cope with the fact that she's got twins, babies, and all of a sudden they're 5-year-olds. Okay, this completely throws a spanner in the works, and as Agnes puts it, kids, you can't control them no matter how hard you try. And I think personally, and it is just my own personal opinion, I think that is a little knowing comment from Agnes. We'll see how that goes on, but I think it's strange that Wanda at the beginning of the episode tries to put them to sleep with her magic, and the kids are absolutely impervious to her magic. It does not work on them, and then Agnes says that. So I think that could be very interesting going forward. So basically, she openly uses her magic in front of Agnes as well, does Wanda, for the kids, with Sparky the dog, and much to Vision's irritation. He seems to see that he and Wanda, as he puts it, have always been on the same page, but now they seem to be diverging, shall we say. And Vision's noticing this more and more, which is what's making him question, especially once he has that conversation with Norm towards the end of the episode. You know, it's going to come to a head. Darcy puts it best. She's got the world's only synthezoid playing Father Knows Best. What's going to happen when he finds out the truth? We will see. We will definitely see. There's a bombshell ending that potentially could have broken the internet. Honestly, this is a huge... I am not going to spoil it, but the ending of this episode is just mind-blowing. Honestly mind-blowing. For any Marvel fan, it will blow your mind. I cannot stress this enough. WandaVision is simply perfectly crafted storytelling at its best. The mystery keeps you guessing to the last minute and always leaves you wanting more. This is my favourite episode so far. It's just mesmerising. I've got a feeling I'm going to say that again for future episodes, because this series gets better and better and better and better. The start's pretty good, but here we are on episode 5 and it's just amazing. So what I'm going to say to you is watch WandaVision episode 5 on a very special episode. I'm going to rate this as 9 out of 10. So watch it. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, drop us a like and subscribe to see all future content.